Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel Anaka Design. I want to do a relatively quick video on decorating some of my paper cloth paper. I don't even remember how I'm referring to it. And just as a quick reminder, I hope I've shown you this. This is one of the pieces that I took a little further and decorated. Napkin, some fibers, some couching, some daisy stitches, some crazy sewing, and I began a little bit of doodling there. Were those gelatos? Anyway, and the others probably don't have anything on them. Well, except this one that has the fabric. So I just randomly picked this one because I thought it was so nice. And in order to avoid another one of those crazy long videos, I began some doodling, some coloring before obviously turning on the camera. And as I've shown you my containers of stuff before, as I was picking colors, I kept them out because that way if I missed something, I could go back to it and know that I have the same color. So I'll just hold this up steady for a moment so that you can see that I have essentially colored in some of the flowers. So for instance, these blue ones, these little purple ones, those in another shade of purple. I did the butterflies, and I began doing some line work and dots on the diamond design. So, and I also went over this curvy decorative thing with actually an El Cheapo pen. This is from the Dollar Tree, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it says Forever in Time metallic marker. And it's kind of like an old gold color. A more, I think I did these little branches here with this Uniball. Where's the real name on it? Signo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Signo Uniball. And I have to say that especially with gel pens, and of course this is a pretty rough surface because it is napkins, sometimes you think that, oh, I've ruined the tip of my rollerball pen, my gel pen. And don't necessarily believe that or give up too soon, because I have found, sometimes it takes a hard time to get going again. But I also found that if I just ran my finger over the tip of it, maybe if there was a bit of crud there or something, that was enough to get it started again. Now, I am absolutely positive that it is possible to ruin pens on a textural surface. Okay, so you're wondering, well, okay, so why are we here today? Well, I think that this is a good start, but I also know that I've never done anything with chalk. I did buy this, broken down set used from Angela, Deluxe Chalks, I guess that's the brand name, natural set. What a difference chalks make. So I thought, and I don't think it looked this bad when I bought it, but I think, some pieces broke out, and through the whole transportation process, I think it got the colors got a little contaminated. However, I'm not complaining. I'm just stating the obvious. So I've gathered up a bunch of Q-tips, and these are actually the dollar store ones, so let's hope they hang in there. So I know that sometimes people use chalk and a fingertip. But honestly, that is my worst, most deformed arthritic finger. So I don't think I want to do that. Plus, I don't really want to get dirty. So I'm going to see what this will do. And I have these Q-tips here to attempt to do some blending. Now, I also, before I begin, let me say it's Sunday, October 6th, I think. And hallelujah, thank the Lord, we finally started combining yesterday afternoon, about 3 o'clock. And so far, it has been my husband and my daughter running the combines, and I'm like the meal person, the shuttle, the gopher person, the shuttle person. This is a deliberate attempt on their part to protect my shoulder from being worsened. I don't know whether I said it or not, or whether you've heard that video. At least one of the healthcare providers I've been to, a chiropractor, believes that I have torn my rotator cuff. So if we can safeguard my shoulder a bit, then that is what we want to do. However, if push comes to shove, I will operate the combine because, of course, Hillary has her own communications consultancy, and she has clients and so on. So I just wanted to say thank you to people like Susie and others who have been praying for good harvest weather, and there are many of you who've been doing that, so I very much appreciate it. And Susie, please do not take on my worries. It won't serve any of us if you worry as much about my harvest as I am. I just appreciate your steadfastness, and I look forward to your comments and the support you have given me. So, yeah, please don't make, as I said in a recent comment, please don't make yourself sick or crazy over this. It's enough that I'm doing that. And another person I want to do a particular shout out to is Teresa, one of my earliest and most loyal, funny subscribers. I must have in a video said something about, for those of you who are doing a rain dance, please cease and desist. We needed some warm, dry, windy weather. Anyway, that little smartass, Teresa, says in a comment that she heard that dancing naked in the field is a do not rain dance. So, obviously, I won't be doing that for all sorts of reasons, other than that would for sure attract the wrath of the weather gods. There would be other cease and desist orders, and they're, no, not a pretty sight. We don't want to be scarring anybody's corneas. So, anyway, I love you guys. I love you, all of you guys. And even if I haven't called you out by name, know that whatever you say to me, the fact that you take the time to comment, like and subscribe and all that jazz. But I mean, liking and subscribing is awesome. Trust me, it's awesome. But it's only when you start commenting and interacting in that way do I actually begin to understand who you are. And so yes, enough about that. But just know that even if I don't say it in every single video, I am deeply appreciative of every one of you with your comments and your appreciation of what I'm doing. Okay, so you can see, and I'm not sure how or why this turned out that way, but there are areas, like for instance along here, that are this sort of gold on white napkin, kind of areas where there isn't much color or detailed pattern. So I'm thinking those are areas that maybe I could quite safely, I'll work here, I guess, quite safely introduce what I hope will be a nice blended effect. Oh, look at that. I haven't done it, and it's already, probably I was rubbing it just in my, talking with my hands. Oh, that reminds me. Yesterday, we ended up having to bite the bullet and buy a $75,000 grain dryer. And the guy, for an extra $500, he delivered it. So I, of course, didn't go out there because it was bitterly cold and, not my shtick. Anyway, I'm looking out the window periodically, and the guy's just talking with his hands and motioning and gesturing and all this. Well, I find out later that he was doing sort of a how-to of operating the machine, and then recapped it a second time, telling Roy to videotape the explanation. I'm thinking, that is brilliant. And clearly the guy talks with his hands. But I just thought that was so smart. Okay, I'm not even really sure what these colors are, but I have my little glue book here. This one has kind of been contaminated a bit, but oh, maybe this isn't, you know what? That's not even a color. God, you can tell how naive I am with this. This is not, well, let's not prejudge. Now that's a fairly, that almost looks like I made a dirty smudge. But let's start light, and I guess we can go darker if necessary. Now this obviously, with the napkin there, has more tooth than this plain old book page. So the texture seems to be grabbing, where am I? It seems to be, collecting some of this pigment in the hills and valleys. Now, yeah, I can see I'm going to be going through a lot of these Q-tips before it's down to a nub and does nothing. So maybe of course I have no strategy. This is probably the painful way to be doing this with this Q-tip. I wonder, what would probably be good, but then you'd have color contamination. Back in the day, like if you ever did anything with chunks of charcoal or charcoal pencils, there was that paper stomp, S-T-O-M-P, that was supposed to be a blending tool. Now, I think it was like those old wax pencils that had a little string, and you would unravel it at some point because you couldn't sharpen them. So I bet you I have that one somewhere, have one of those somewhere. So I might have to, when the dust settles, try to find it. Dare I? Maybe I could use another finger and see if we can get a little better results a little quicker. This, well, I don't know what you can see, but it does seem pretty subtle, which I guess is a good thing, maybe. Again, this is playing with something new, so, and I'm sorry I had to sacrifice my 2 rigid flashlights. I think one is on the charger, and I think Roy took the other one so that, once it gets dark, he can see trucks and combines and light his way in the field. Um, I think that there might be some value to this. Why don't I was going to say, why don't I pick another finger? Why don't I pick another color and see, yeah, see this darker shade here? Oh, I think this could be nice. I mean, I think the possibilities are kind of good here. Now, I also hope, let's see, with a clean hand, it doesn't seem to really lift, so that's a bonus. Because it would be awful if a person, used, well, guess I could use a fixative, use this on a cover or something and then found out that, it was discoloring the hands of the owner. That's not a happy customer. So, yeah, I think that I'm glad that I forced myself to try this. Because, sometimes I can't imagine that you know what I'm going to say. And you probably, only a friend of yours would be guilty of this, not you. I know it isn't you. Guilty of buying something because it's available, because it's available in the universe. No, because it's available maybe at a good price. Somebody else has raved about its benefits and all of that. And then never use the darn thing. Case in point, my cinch machine. Now, I know you've never done that, so just take my word for it. That's a hazard. That's a potential hazard. So now I'm just gravitating to areas that are kind of staying a little too white. I think that's kind of making it better. Now, what would happen? I did have to crack open a new set of wipes. I just want to draw your attention to this. I paid dearly for this several years ago because I had been led to believe, scared, in fact, into believing that only bamboo wipes were safe to use on if you're cleaning stamps. Unbleached, toxin-free, blah, blah, blah. So I no longer believe that. And I am pleasantly surprised to find out that this many years later, like that package is probably 4 years old or 5, that this many years later, it's still moist. Now I have to wipe my hands on my pants. I have to retire these jeans after this harvest because they have holes in them now. I've worn them to the nub. I wanted to try, like for an area like this, for instance, maybe the lightest mauve here. Ooh, let's try it on the book first. Kind of almost reads as a gray. Well, let's reload that finger and try again. Oh, you know what I like? Where it's catching and highlighting all the little creases in the napkins. That is cool. That makes me think that when I do this again, make paper cloth, that I should purposely do some more, purposely make creases. Now, one thing that I do not know, but we can do a little experiment in a second, is now that I have spread chalk on certain areas, does that mean that I can no longer add paint? Or will it still take the paint? Maybe a bit over here. Now, normally, after a couple of bad episodes of people calling my cell phone in the middle of a video and effectively ending the video mid-word, I now, excuse me, put the, what is it? On an iPhone, the focus, whatever it is, where anyway, it doesn't allow interruptions. I think the message, if you tried to reach me during that time, I think it would say something about that I have silenced notifications. So that's a good thing. However, when you have people working in the field where breakdowns could occur or an extra set of hands are needed, then it's, I can't do that. So I also want to keep this quite short, so that I don't ruin a longer video or prevent my people from reaching me. Okay, I think I'm going to stop with the chalk. As always, reserving the right to go back if I need to. This hinge is broke, or this closure is broken, so that's why I've got that on there. Okay, so just for the heck of it, I haven't, now there's a fair bit of green on here, but what do I have for green? That's a metallic, this is a different brand. It's Marvy brand. What are they calling this? Maybe they don't name their colors. This is almost, oh, that's apple green. That's all I have for greens. Okay, let's do a little, as I was, since I keep reaching for this book of mine. Oh yeah, it's got, but that almost looks like teal or something, doesn't it? I was thinking, oh, wouldn't it be clever, wouldn't it be prudent to do a swatch card with these pens? And I wouldn't have to do this. Oh, that's a chisel point. This is probably going to be similar in the Posca. I wouldn't have to keep doing this all the time. This is, I would say this is too bright for what's going on here. These colors are all fairly muted. So believe it or not, I might, because these greens, let me take you out away from the shadow that the phone is casting, seems to be about the darkest here. So let's just let's see what we can do. And all I've been doing, because there is a darker line around each flower, the butterflies, whatever, is basically some very loose coloring. Because by being loose and not feeling like I have to, fill in every single bit of each space, it allows it to look like it's been shaded, or I don't obliterate the outline. So you know, if you're one of those people that colors outside the lines, this is perfect because the lines are just a guideline. Now, of course, I could, if I wanted it looking more dimensional, what I could do is go back in with one of the other greens and, you know, that would add a different look. And of course, with none of these colors have I been trying to get every single, you know, I mean, well, I guess that's not quite true. Like I do think I located every single butterfly, every single of the other shapes that were important. The other thing is you can play sort of fast and loose with the rules, if there are rules, or what you might think could be rules. So for instance, these flowers here, those purple ones that have either 3 or 4 petals, if there was an uneven distribution of that color, and for the sake of balance, I could become the creator here and just randomly add those marks, not where they are, but where they aren't, where they are needed for balance or color distribution or whatever. And you see that I'm just barely touching it in places. And I keep turning the piece of paper cloth, number one, to keep my hand out of wet paint, which honestly, I can't believe how fast this dries. So that hasn't been an issue. I haven't yet once smeared anything. I guess that's kind of a bold thing to say, but it's true. I haven't smudged anything or gotten my hands stained because it just almost seems an instant dry thing. And of course, keeping your hands out of the way is another kind of just little bit of insurance. I will attempt, because you know, it's just an attempt usually, to link either in the video or maybe more easily in the description box the video where I made this paper cloth, because honestly I think the excuse me, the possibilities are truly endless. In the case of the gold squiggly lines, I think I ended up having to go over some of them twice. So I guess don't be surprised if you have to, I thought I saw something that I missed here. Maybe it's just the way the light hit it. You know, you do have the option of going, sort of giving it a second coat type of thing. Oh, so did I didn't really do what I said I was going to do, did I? I didn't try to make marks over, say, these chalky areas. Let me just try to figure out what's going on here. Those look like berries. So, what? Maybe let's shake this up and see if I can color in those berries over the chalk, because we know that it was, oh yeah, that stuff is a miracle thing. Oh, I don't want to turn in, I don't want to know what you can see there, but I'm trying not to color the whole berry, as it were, because we know that with sphere shapes, there would be sort of that highlight area. Looking for berries, calling all berries. Now, I guess I should have paused after the first bunch to see if that's actually making things better, or before I do it all over the page. But I guess that horse has left the barn, so I might as well keep going. Like, I'm having a hard time seeing them here. But once you find one, you can just fake the others. I might have to fake some over here. There don't seem to be any. Well, here are a few. I don't know what that is, but it's bigger and it's a different shape. But you get the idea. Obviously, you're not going to care that much about my project here, because you don't have, unless you buy my napkin kits, you don't have exactly the same napkins that I do. So your decorating process out of necessity will be your decorating process. But very pleased to find out that this does work over chalk. Now, now this is kind of a fluorescent orange, and I just dotted it, where did I put it? In the center of these yellow flowers. So if I were to ruin this pen, I probably wouldn't be all that upset about it. So let me try wood. Okay, it's flowing. This is like a fluorescent color. Should I do just for the heck of it, a butterfly body? I don't know, there's not really a body there, but now I probably, here I can do I cannot say with certainty. I suspect that there is chalk there, but so it looks like this also works. I can do a flower center there. It does look as though gel pens will work over the chalk as well. Just trying to, I could put it on these blue flowers too. Oh, that's kind of cool. And I mean, really, they're like just little pin dots. And yet, well, I hope you can see them. It just adds another level of detail or interest or layers to an already complex design. Oh, I am pleased. I'm tickled pink, in fact. Whoever invented that expression, tickled pink. Oh, there are quite a few of these. I will continue to work on this. I really can't tell you, but that's not going to stop me from trying, how much fun this is. And I'm not one of those frivolous YouTubers who is always talking about, oh, fun, fun, fun. I think a lot of things are fun, but other things are, not that they're not fun, but they're like, fun is almost sticks in my craw a bit, because that's like the whole junk journal thing. I think it almost diminishes, and maybe that's crazy, because something fun can be beautiful, and you don't have to suffer for your art. I don't want to suggest that, because that's an outmoded. Did I do all the butterfly bodies? I got carried away and forgot. Anyway, it's probably just a quirk of mine, so ignore what I'm saying. Fun is a good thing. Now this, because of the chalk that I've added, it's too bad I don't have, well, I don't have one, and I don't want to take the time to look. This was obviously considerably brighter before I started knocking back the whites. Now, if I wanted to add that sparkle back in, I could, of course, go back in with the Posca and, figure out some places to add white. I just don't know at this point if I want to, because I think there is a certain appeal to this, and I don't know, a softness or whatever. I probably do need to emphasize more of the gold here. So maybe I'll do, see, this is a very opaque thing. I probably should have had a lighter hand right there, or use that other marker instead. It's just very pleasing to me when a dollar store art supply actually does the trick, because to me it makes art supplies more accessible, because you can spend a heck of a lot of money on art supplies. However, if you don't have to, then that means more people can take part. Yeah, this pen, I mean, it serves its purpose, but it seems a bit like Maybe it's a bit much. I might have been better with more metallic-y. Because this really covers so opaquely that unless I do a very feathery touch, it covers everything, including the underlying line work. I might even have to fake it a bit here where I can't see. But again, if you make leaf-like shapes, then who's to say it wasn't there? Hey. Okay, I'm quitting for now. Okay, guys, I will just do a little slow drive-by here. I know that light conditions are not ideal, but as soon as those batteries are charged, I'll be back to my better lighting conditions. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I have loved doing this, and I hope that, it just occurs to me that there's a very deliberate break in the, what is that bad? In these gold marks. There's one I missed. I could fake one there. Maybe that is something that looks like it's missing. So I can do the hint of it there. Not a very inaccurate replication, let's just say that. So here, if I did it sort of like, that's the problem trying to make these things symmetrical. Quite often you can't do it. Okay, so that's what that line looks like. I could do that. Yeah, that kind of shadowy effect, I think, helps. And of course, it will never be perfect because they were partial pieces of napkins that that were used. So, but I think that makes me feel a bit better. And I could suggest one from the side there. Yeah, I think I feel a bit better about that. This one looks broken here. And these repeating lines, they don't have to make sense. They don't have to go anywhere. They just have to provide an illusion of some kind. Anyway, feel better about that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.